it is the idea of being safe in its totality, right? What would safety be without a certainty that there's only safety, in the wholeness of ourselves. There's only safety in that communication with the source of our reality, with the source of our being. We call it safety in God, right? And we are training here our mind to basically look at fear thoughts, at ideas of an opposite to that safety, which is the threat of the ego mind to challenge our reality. But I mean, every mind that had a glimpse of an experience knows that this is completely an unjustified notion, and there isn't really anything to fear. And whatever is experienced as threat is just a self-made concept within one's own mind, based on separation, based on fear, based on something of which God doesn't know. And I will go today in using A Course in Miracles. I have it here in a little booklet that is available, and use the lesson for the day that is 130. It is impossible to see two worlds. So it teaches us, and it gives us all we need to become certain. Oh my God, I can have that certainty and experience and recognition to see only safety, to see only that light of creation that I am. And I do not need to be afraid or feel threatened by anything that I still might have a residue of perception of a world in my own mind. And this is a true saying. My sisters and brothers, I guarantee you, the more intensive, the more profound, the more clear it becomes that we are as God created us. It's basically an acceptance. It's a choice we make. The choice is between these self-made, self-fabricated illusions and the truth. You choose, brother, if a threat of COVID-19 or whatever you think could threaten you, now they are talking again, there is a black hole just very nearby, only 1,000 light years away. There's threats all over, but the meaning that we are given to these ideas, that's our choice. It's a decision we really make in our mind. If we make that a threat and a fear connotation, and the mind is put or left in fear, or if we see, no, I'm going to choose for the truth, I'm going to choose for eternity, for an eternal realization, for something that is not coming and going, that every illusion will always show up in its impermanence. That impermanence is really the tag of the ego mind. Everything that is real in us, everything that has a real source, in Christian terms or in any terms of religious vernacular, anything that is based on God, that represents God, there is no end to it. It is forever and forever. It is eternal. It is infinite. It is not subject to anything outside that can influence or change. Mutate is also a good word, isn't it? The truth of ourselves doesn't mutate, and the truth of ourselves has a constancy and consistency in presence, as presence, and recognizing that that presence is what timelessness is. There isn't really any difference between eternity and timelessness. That what we are, that is not subject to sickness, loss, and death. That is permanent. And so it is impossible to see two worlds is indicating and directing our mind that we can change our perspective. We can change and must, I'm saying here, and must change our perception to a way where it is very, very clear that it is either this reality is either being in hell and seeing all the threats and all the fear connotations, or being in heaven and seeing the light of creative thought, how it guides us, how it reveals to us a completely different way of seeing, a completely different world. In A Course in Miracles, Jesus as the author lets us know that, let's call that for a moment, the real world, as an alternative to the way of seeing how we see in the world in separation with the ego mind. This is the invitation. So thank you for being here. I will make here a little break and continue. If you're interested in that, please continue joining me on Spreaker.com, which is this radio portal. And the show, you can search for it in the search field for The Voice from Heaven. And there you will find live our class, Perfectly Safe Forever. I really love you with all of my being, with all of my soul. Why can I say that? Because I know myself, my true self, and therefore I know you, and I know everyone, and I know everyone in the entire universe, because we are sharing the same recognition, the same beingness of being the one self. And this is really all there is. So in a moment, I'm going to go a little bit into this workbook of A Course in Miracles, into lesson 130, to have an example how we deal with that, to experience and feel and realize consistency of safety, of really coming to, yes, there is only perfect safety forever and forever. Thank you. Good to have you here. Good to see you. And it's everything is just for an instant, you know. Never mind about time. Time is an illusion. It's just this very moment that counts. I'm very glad to welcome you here.